At the end of this video, you should be able to explain the significance of a chemical formula. Chapter 7, Section 1, Chemical Names and Formulas. The total number of natural and synthetic chemical compounds runs in the millions. For some of these substances, certain common names remain in everyday use. For example, calcium carbonate is better known as limestone, and sodium chloride is usually referred to simply as table salt. And everyone recognizes dihydrogen monoxide by its popular name, water. Unfortunately, common names usually give no information about chemical composition. To describe the atomic makeup of compounds, chemists use systematic methods for naming compounds and for writing chemical formulas. In this chapter, you will be introduced to some of the rules used to identify simple chemical compounds. Significance of a chemical formula. Recall that a chemical formula indicates the relative number of atoms of each kind in a chemical compound. For a molecular compound, the chemical formula reveals the number of atoms of each element contained in a single molecule of the compound, as is shown on the screen for the hydrocarbon octane. Hydrocarbons are molecular compounds composed solely of carbon and hydrogen. Unlike a molecular compound, an ionic compound consists of a lattice of positive and negative ions held together by mutual attraction. The chemical formula for an ionic compound represents one formula unit, the simplest ratio of the compound's positive ions, cations, and its negative ions, anions. The chemical formula for aluminum sulfate, which is an ionic compound consisting of aluminum cations and polyatomic sulfate anions, is written as is shown on page 204 of your text or on the screen now. Note how the parentheses are used. They surround the polyatomic anion to identify it as a unit. The subscript 3 refers to the entire unit. Notice also that there's no subscript written next to the symbol for sulfur. When there's no subscript written next to an atom's symbol, the value of the subscript is understood to be 1 and not written. At this point, you should be able to explain the significance of a chemical formula.